You know that iconic shape of the Egyptian pyramids, right? That perfect triangle against the desert sky? Well, it turns out getting to that perfect shape wasn't a given. It was this whole process of trial, a lot of error, and one huge breakthrough. So let's get into the story of how they finally got it right. See, if you really want to understand the Great Pyramid of Giza, probably the most famous structure on Earth, you can't actually start there. No, you have to go back to the one that made it all possible in the first place. Okay, so first things first, we've got to get our terms straight. The ancient Egyptians built a lot of pyramids, but not all of them look the way you'd imagine. So what exactly makes a pyramid a true pyramid? Here's the deal. The key is that a true pyramid has four perfectly smooth, totally flat sides. No steps, no weird bends or changing angles halfway up. It's just one clean, consistent slope that rises from the desert floor all the way to a single sharp point. That was the dream, the architectural goal. The guy who finally cracked the code was a pharaoh named Snefru. Now, his earlier attempts, let's just say they had some major structural issues. We'll call them famous learning experiences. But he didn't give up. He commissioned a new project at a place called Dashur, and this time, he absolutely nailed it. And this is it, the North Pyramid of Dashur, better known today as the Red Pyramid. Why red? Well, its original smooth white casing stones were stripped away centuries ago, exposing the reddish limestone core underneath. And believe me, this is the structure that changed everything. I really can't stress this enough. This pyramid right here in Dashur is the world's very first successful, fully completed true pyramid. It was the proof of concept. Snefru and his builders showed the world that their grand vision of a massive smooth-sided monument wasn't just a fantasy. It could actually be done. And this success kicked off this incredible family legacy. You've got King Snefru, the father, who built the Red Pyramid. That's the first success. And then you have his son, Pharaoh Khufu, who looked at what his dad did and basically decided, I'm going to build the greatest achievement. The innovator literally passed the torch to his son. So, with the blueprint for success now in hand, the story shifts to Giza. The really tough engineering challenges had been solved, which meant Khufu could focus on two things: perfection and just sheer unimaginable scale. He wasn't just building a tomb, he was creating an eternal monument bigger than anything the world had ever seen. And here it is, the Great Pyramid of Giza, built on the Giza Plateau, all thanks to his father's breakthrough. But try to picture it as it was meant to be seen. Not the rough, sand-colored structure we see today, but completely covered in polished, brilliant white limestone. It would have been a blinding beacon, just gleaming under the Egyptian sun. It was, and it still is, the absolute pinnacle of pyramid construction. No other pyramid before or since has ever matched its incredible size and height. It's the perfection of the form that Snefru had pioneered just one generation earlier. So, just how grand was this masterpiece, really? Well, the numbers behind it are almost hard to wrap your head around, but they tell the story of its unbelievable legacy. Back in the day, the Great Pyramid stood over 146 meters. That's 481 feet tall. To put that in perspective, that's like building a 45-story skyscraper in the middle of the desert 4,500 years ago. Just wild. And this number, this one is just staggering. For more than 3,800 years, nothing built by human hands, anywhere, on the entire planet, was taller than the Great Pyramid. It held that record for nearly 4 millennia. And of course, there's its most famous title. Of that legendary list of spectacular constructions, the 7 wonders of the ancient world, the Great Pyramid of Giza is the only one that has survived to see our time. So from Sneferu's game-changing breakthrough to Khufu's ultimate masterpiece, it's really a story of relentless innovation. And, it leaves us with a pretty fascinating question to think about. They built for eternity. It makes you wonder, what are we building today that's going to endure for the next 4,500 years?